My apologies to anybody who's expecting some modern content. We'll get back to that, I promise, but I usually do a little bit more limited when sets are brand new, and I'm having a lot of fun playing Kaldheim, so I'm going to play a little bit more Kaldheim before we get back to modern. Um, don't fret, it's not going anywhere, and let's get back to... Oops, wrong overlay. Let's get back to doing some more here. So let's see. Arnie Broken Brow. 3 mana, 3/3 haste, boast 1. You may change his base power to 1 plus the greatest power among other creatures you control until end of turn. Well, I like that. Plus, apparently, this is what my Discord has been saying I look the most like the character from this set. So, you know what? Let's do it. Arnie Broken Brow. Alright, we also have Maya, Maya, Bredegard Protector. Other creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, make a 1/1 white human warrior creature token. I mean, there's probably some sort of like Naya humans viable deck. We'll take Maya. She's a build around card. Alright, we've got let's see. Batter Shield Warrior, which is a boast for an anthem. That seems really good if we're going to be doing the green-white go-wide. I feel a little bit bad missing out on the Axgard Armory and the Arctic Tree Line and the Fight spell. But if we're going wide, we definitely want the anthem. So, take Batter Shield Warrior. Red-white is boast, and green-white is go-wide, and so like this one could potentially go in either or both. Rune of Sustenance grants lifelink. Draws us a card. Otherwise, we can take the Alpine Meadow. We can get Axgard Cavalry, giving a creature haste, or a Bound in Gold, which is a very good removal spell. I think I'm going to go with the Rune and the Cantrip. I mean, going wide, it's not going to be as good. Maybe we should just take the Bound in Gold. There's also, like, sort of removal here. I'm going to take the land, actually. I know that seems really weird and that may be wrong, but we're going to try it. We're going to see what happens here. Dwarven Reinforcements. Create 2 2/1 Dwarf Berserker creature tokens. Okay. Seize the Spoils. Run Amok. Ravenous Lindworm. I think we're going to take the Dwarven Reinforcements. Not Vold Slumber Mound. While technically in our colors, I think it's going to be way too slow. Okay. Axgard Braggart. Doomscar Oracle. I think I'm going to take the Doomscar Oracle because of the incredible cost reduction that we can get from it. Because right now we don't have a lot in the 2-drop slot or less, which is going to suck if we are in fact a go wide deck and we do not get enough creatures to go wide. We're kind of dead in the water before we start. So hopefully we get some more stuff to use here. Let's see. Starnheim Courser, artifact and enchantment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Okay, don't have a lot of that, so we'll just take the haste creature. I mean, we have this haste creature in Arnie right now, so I mean, potentially we could have a pretty aggressive deck here. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. Whenever it becomes blocked, it deals 1 damage to defending player. Or we can take the Code Spell Cleric. I think we take the Code Spell Cleric because even though it kind of fits more in the black-white strategy than the red-white strategy, if we're an aggressive deck, we're probably going to be casting multiple low drops on later turns, at which point the Code Spell Cleric kind of helps fill the curve, goes a little bit wider, and helps out. It's one of those cards that kind of overlaps multiple strategies, and so it's not particularly strong, but it might help offset or increase our damage output just a little bit. So Warhorn Blast is a reward for going wide. I kind of want to take Tormentor's Helm, though, because we do need stuff to do on early turns, and this seems like it might be a decent buff. Even though Warhorn Blast is a very powerful go-wide anthem, I think having the equipment is going to be better. I may want Seize the Spoils, but I do want one of these at least. Demonic Gifts is also a very strong 2-drop, but we're probably not playing black at all. There's King Harold's Revenge, which we could take for a go-wide strategy, because this makes one creature really, really big. I'm going to take the Warhorn Blast, though. Arachniform. I'm going to take the Arachniform. It's a really good rate for a buff, I think. I can take Funeral Longboat, even though I'm not a huge fan. Seize the Spoils. Village Rites. Black would be another card we could, or another color we could potentially play. We also don't want too many tap lands if we're trying to play an aggressive deck. Alright, there's the black-green pathway. There's the Blizzard Brawl. Which, if we get enough snow permanents to turn on Blizzard Brawl, it's going to be an insanely strong rate card. There's also a Scorn Effigy, which I'm thinking more and more is actually a good card. Like, as derpy as it looks. And there's a Snow-Covered Mountain, a Sculptor of Winter. I'm going to take the Blizzard Brawl. Because just Prey Upon is, like, playable, right? 3 mana, 2/4 in our colors that can make manaliths. As much as I would like to take Bredegard Stronghold, giving stuff Vigilance and Lifelink, I think taking Svella is correct here. Okay, another Axeguard Armory. There's an Usher of the Fallen, which is an elite Vanguard that can make more tokens. That sounds like exactly what I want in this deck. Shepherd of the Cosmos is great. There's a Snow-Covered Mountain. I'm going to take Usher of the Fallen. We're really doing red-white Boast, and a lot of the other cards that I'm picking do not fit in this. Let's see, Valkyrie Sword, 2 mana, equipped creature gets +2/+1. When it enters the battlefield, you may pay 5. If you do, make a 4/4 White Angel, and then equip this. Great Hall of Starnheim, I still like this card. It's not as good as I initially thought, but it's still, I like it. Pyre of Heroes, is that worth anything? 2 tickets, not really. I think taking the Valkyrie Sword or the Story Seeker here is correct, because just having like random lifelinking dudes can make a huge difference. I'm going to take Valkyrie Sword because it's like the highest possible upside if we get flooded. There's a guy that taps with a Boast, another Tormentor's Helm, which I wouldn't mind, another Anthem guy. I think I take the Anthem here. Okay, so we're mainly red-white, probably going to splash green, unless it's too unreasonable. So we'll take Wings of the Cosmos. I guess we could take Run Amok. Wings of the Cosmos is much cheaper. We don't really have anything we need to untap, though. I think Run Amok is going to be better because we're going to be more aggressive than that. Battlefield Raptor, I think just as a small flyer is going to be fine. There's a Rune of Sustenance. There's also a Valor of the Worthy. I'll take the Rune. Like, Valor of the Worthy I really like, especially after its performance in our last deck. But I think the Rune is going to be slightly higher value. We'll take the Scorn Effigy. Because if nothing else, allowing us to like double spell on turn 3 could help like Doomscar Oracle or Code Spell Cleric or other things like that. I think it's just another like reasonable thing we could do early. Bredegard Stronghold came all the way around. And we're going to be mostly white instead of green, so it's easy to activate, at least in our deck. Axeguard Armory. We're probably not going to have that much red that double red's easy. I think I'm going to take the Snow Mountain to help with like Blizzard Brawl and Svella. We already have 1 Tormentor's Helm. I don't know how many of those are playable. One moment. I think Porter wants to be let in. Or Minnie. Hi, Minnie. The little dachshund. Okay, we'll take Story Seeker. Goldmaw Champion seems the most reasonable here. Wither Crown for the side. And an Annul. I feel like we've got too many non-creature spells. Waking the Trolls. Otherwise we could have like a Bound in Gold, a Horizon Seeker, a Snow-Covered Forest, a Mammoth Growth. So, this card is good, but I don't think it's good in our deck. I actually think taking Horizon Seeker here is going to be better, because we are 3 colors. It can help us find our snowlands. Alright, fine, I'll take the rare in my colors, even if it's not what I think is going to be best here. Reckless Crew. 4 mana, create X, 2/1 Red Dwarf Berserker creature tokens, where X is the number of vehicles you control, plus the number of equipment you control. For each of those tokens, you may attach an equipment to it. Well, we have a couple pieces of equipment and at least 1 vehicle. What are we missing out if we take that? Nothing as good as that, I imagine. Yeah, Doomscar Titan is a little bit more expensive. We'll take the Reckless Crew. I don't know if we're playing Waking the Trolls. Invasion of the Giants is not really what we're looking to do here. Litjara Glade Warden. Exile a creature card from your graveyard, put 2/1 counters on a creature, activate only when you can activate a sorcery. I think we take the Bound in Gold because we're going to be a little light on removal. We can either take the Bound in Gold or we can take Struggle for Skemfar. I think Bound in Gold is going to be a little bit better, even if it is technically, in a way, kind of more expensive. I think it's a little bit stronger. Clarion Spirit is the kind of card I want in this deck because it's going to help us go wide for the low price of just casting 2 of our low drops in a turn. We're missing out on Shieldmate or an Alpine Meadow by taking this, though I don't think that's too much. Blue is very open. I'll take a Stalwart Valkyrie, because we're probably going to have some creatures dying, and Stalwart Valkyrie can fly over the top, hopefully for cheap, and sneak in some more damage. I think overall I've drafted too little removal in this deck. So we can either take a Rune of Sustenance, of which I already have one, and we don't have that much equipment, or I can take a King Harold's Revenge, though I don't know how likely it is we're actually going to be playing green at this point. I suppose we're going to be splashing for Maya. I'll take the Rune. Sticking this on equipment is probably way more powerful than sticking it on a creature, so... I think I tried to draft too many things at once and didn't focus on what would have actually made a good deck this draft. But that's going to happen sometimes. This is the second time I've ever drafted this format, so we'll see what we can do. I'm going to take Provoke the Trolls because it's technically removal. Even if it is really expensive removal. Forging the Tyrite Sword. Create a treasure token, search your library for a card named Halvar, God of Battle, or an equipment card, put it into your hand, and then shuffle your library. This seems really slow, but I don't think I would be playing a third Rune of Sustenance. This could help ramp us and fix our mana as well, so I'll take the Tyrite Sword forging thing. I don't know if I should or shouldn't. Horizon Seeker can help us fix our mana. Alternatively, we can take another Snowland for Blizzard Brawl. We only have like 3 snow permanents, so odds are we will not be able to play Blizzard Brawl as anything other than just a regular fight spell. I'm gonna take the Seeker, I think. Okay, Dwarven Reinforcements, there's a Raven Wings or a Fearless Pup. Fearless Pup seems like a lot to boast, so I'm going to take the Wings to maybe synergize with Reckless Crew. Giving creatures flying also seems powerful. Yeah, I think since we're just splashing green at best, I'll take the Goldmaw Champion. I already have one, but being able to tap big blockers sounds like it might be important. Take the Shieldmate. Take a Snakeskin Veil in the sideboard, because I'm probably not playing that. Get forced a King Harold's Revenge, and a Strategic Planning in the sideboard. Honestly, if we just splash green for Waking the Trolls and Maya, that's probably kind of reasonable to not even be playing our other cards. Put a 1/1 counter on a creature you control against Hexproof. Oh, this is an upgraded Ranger's Guile. That's not a bad card, actually. Okay, hang on. Group creatures separately. What are we dealing with here? Okay. Spellow's probably too slow. Horizon Seeker, while it does help us gain card advantage to be drawing a basic land every turn, I don't know that we're actually going to be able to play green except at the top end. So that probably means we're losing those cards, at least. We can play Waking the Trolls. There are a couple of problematic lands that it would be nice to answer, even at 6 mana. I wish this put the equipment onto the battlefield. That would be so awesome. But that's probably too strong for an uncommon. And in Eternal formats, that might actually even be good at that point. So we have 1, 2, 3 pieces of equipment and 1 vehicle. The vehicle seems okay. At least it has vigilance. I want to drop Provoke the Trolls. Goldmaw Champion seems good, but not really an effect we want to have multiple at that mana cost. I think I'm going to cut one of them. I don't want to cut many more creatures, so I need to start cutting some non-creature spells. So Rune of Sustenance can actually go on our Longboat as well, and as long as it's a creature, it will have lifelink. I don't think I'm going to play Seize the Spoils. And I think Reckless Crew might actually be too deep. If I had a bunch of Tormentor's Helms, that would actually be great. So something to keep in mind if I'm drafting and take this as a rare for the pack. I need to cut 3 cards. And honestly, it's probably... I'm still looking at Waking the Trolls, like I should probably cut this card. Yeah, we'll cut it. And then... if we're cutting that, we probably don't need Forging the Tyrite Sword, because we don't have any like extremely broken equipment or anything like that, so that's going to be a little bit slow. And I probably should cut this, but it's a huge payoff for going wide and potentially an engine in the late game. So we're going to cut... oh, what do we cut? I'm going to cut Raven Wings. We'll see if I regret that. Okay, we have 1 double white spell. We have no basic land search at all. I don't think we can run Maya without running some of the treasure cards. Hang on. I don't think we can run her at all, actually. That sucks. Not without justifying more green. And I don't know that I can. I think this is what our deck looks like. Oh, man. And it feels like I'm playing a deck with like no payoffs. We were just trying to be aggressive. I don't think that's going to be good enough either. Yeah, I think due to lack of fixing... if I had taken that Alpine Grove, I maybe could have... or not Alpine Meadow, but the other one, the green-white snow-tapped duel. Alright, we're going to play it like this. Hopefully it works out for us. See you guys in round 1. Alrighty, round 1, here we go. Alright, we have a good 1, 2, and 3 curve, so we're going to keep. It's 1 more land than I wish we had, but... okay, we draw Raven Wings. That's something we can do on 4. Play Battlefield Raptor, pass the turn. Go to combat. Attack for 1. Opponent goes down to 19. Then we foretell Scorn Effigy, pass the turn. Opponent plays an island into a Mistwalker. Draw Rune of Sustenance. Play Arnie. Play Scorn Effigy. Go to combat. Attack for 4. Okay, opponent is able to block there. They take 1. Opponent plays a Dwarven Reinforcements. We untap, draw Beskir Shieldmate, play a Plains, play Raven Wings, equip Arnie, go to combat, attack for 5, opponent takes 4, pass the turn, opponent plays an island, no attacks, we untap, we draw Dwarven Reinforcements, play a Plains, enchant Raven Wings with Rune of Sustenance, draw a card, Doomscar Oracle, go to combat, attack in the air, here and here. Opponent blocks Arnie, gives +1/-1, gives +1/-1, so they're going to trade. In that case, see, next turn we're going to have 5 mana, so we are going to foretell Doomscar Oracle. Pass the turn. Okay, opponent untaps. Plays a land. Plays a Haggy Mob. Oh, that's a pretty good boast ability. We draw a mountain. Play the mountain. Cast Doomscar Oracle. Cast Shieldmate. Gain 2 life. Equip the Scorn Effigy, go to combat, and attack for 4 in the air. Okay. Lifelink is doing work right now. Opponent plays a land. Plays a Frenzied Raider and an Axeguard Cavalry. They should attack here, yeah. They attack. Okay, they're going to ping the Beskir Shieldmate for 4 blocks. No blocks. We untap. We draw Plains. There's no real downside to just casting Dwarven Reinforcements now. Also, we can move Raven Wings over to deal 1 more damage. So I think we're probably going to play the planes, move the equipment over, go to combat, attack for 5 in the air. Okay, opponent goes down to 4, we go up to 24. Lifelink is a broken mechanic. And we'll just play Dwarven Reinforcements. Pass the turn. So we have a single creature that's currently lethal in the air. We can move the equipment over to any number of other creatures that would be lethal. My opponent can't really attack because they're at such a low life total. They scoop it up. Alrighty, do we have anything that would be good against my opponent's deck? Because they're also kind of an aggressive sort of deck. Some of our green spells would be good, but we really can't fit them into the deck, unfortunately. Goldmaw Champion might be important here, because being able to attack and then tap my opponent's biggest creatures seems like it might be a thing we want to be doing. Question is, what am I dropping for it? It might be Dwarven Reinforcements, actually. Let's try that. We probably don't need as much red as we have in the deck now, because we're almost practically mono-white. But, you know, whatever. Alright, we can keep this. I don't know if I want to play Code Spell Cleric on turn 1. I probably should. I'm not going to, though. Okay, opponent plays a 2/2 on 2. We draw a Snow-Covered Mountain, so we foretell the Warhorn Blast. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Breakneck Berserker. Hits us for 5. We draw a land. Play a land. Play Arnie. Hit our opponent for 3. They go to 17. They play a mountain. If they have removal for Arnie here, it's going to be a bad time for us. They play a Tuskeri Firewalker. Okay. We take 5. Untap. Draw planes. Play planes. Play Raven Wings. Play Code Spell Cleric. Counter on Arnie. Go to combat. I am still going to attack here, I think. Because my opponent is not going to block. They're going to swing all out at us. They're down to 13. We currently are representing 7 damage, so we're 6 damage behind. We could technically get up to 8 by equipping Raven Wings. We need to top deck a Rune of Sustenance here. Okay, opponent activates the ability of Tuskeri Firewalker. We go down to 1. They make some dwarves. Rune of Sustenance, please. Batter Shield Warrior. Alright, we're going to scoop it up. So opponent's hand was much more aggressive that time. Run it back. I'll play first. No red mana, but we don't apparently need it right now, so we're going to keep. Start by playing a plains, pass the turn. Hopefully we can use the lifelink to offset whatever damage our opponent could do to us. Play Beskir Shieldmate, pass the turn. Kind of hoping that we draw red mana. Opponent plays an island, passes. We draw a Funeral Longboat. So play a plains, go to combat, attack for 2. And I think we're gonna go with the longboat, actually. Pass the turn. Opponent plays an island into a Mistwalker. We untap and draw Bound in Gold. This seems like not such a great card to be binding in gold, but it blocks really well. Crew the longboat, go to combat, get in for 3. Take our opponent down to 15. They untap. They play an island. They play a Firewalker. And they bind the Beskir Shieldmate. Okay, we draw a mountain. So play a mountain. What do we want to put Rune of Sustenance on? That's the question here. We could put it on the Funeral Longboat. The only problem with that is I think it's better to put it on the equipment. So we're going to play Raven Wings, and we're going to rune it up. We need to cast Rune this turn so that we can draw. Because if we draw a land, we're trying to get up to where we can just pay the full price for Valkyrie's Sword. But we need a creature pretty desperately, too. Okay, it's a land. Pass the turn. Okay, opponent plays Invasion of the Giants. So they get to scry 2. They're setting up some play with Firewalker, probably. Well, they'll know whether to boast or not, at least. So if they've missed a land drop and they can boast into a land. Okay, opponent goes to combat. They attack for 3. No boast. They play a Karfell Harbinger. We untap. We draw Stalwart Valkyrie. So play a Plains. Play the Valkyrie. Crew the boat. Go to combat. Attack for 3. No blocks. Take them to 10. Then play Tormentor's Helm. Pass the turn. Opponent draws a card, then reveals an Undersea Invader. So they have a 6-mana 5/6 flash that enters the battlefield tapped. We take 2. Opponent goes to combat, attacks for 3. No blocks. They boast a land. It's pretty good. Then my opponent plays another Tuskeri Firewalker. We untap. We draw a Batter Shield Warrior. Play the Warrior. Crew up the boat. Turn the boat into a life-linking bird boat. Go to combat. Attack for 7 in the air. Oh, opponent had Squash. That sucks. Okay. Hopefully we're not dead this turn. My opponent can attack us for 7. I mean, we can equip, and boast, which does look like lethal. They're going to attack us for 6. I think they're trying to draw removal, though. We go to 6. They cast a giant, it costs 2 less this turn. They boast a land, they play a land. They boast a Cinderheart giant that can be played until end of turn, but they can't cast it because it's 1 mana too much. And they play an Undersea Invader. I think we got him. So we untap, we draw Alpine Meadow, play the Meadow, equip here, go to combat, and attack for 7 in the air. We got him! Woo! That was close. I don't think we were favored to win that, like, at all. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in round 2. Lifelink OP! Alrighty, round 2, here we go. We'll play first. Usher of the Fallen is a great way to start, so we're going to keep. This is potentially one of our best starts. We have something to do on turn 1, something to do on turn 2, something to do on turn 3, something to do on turn X, where X is the turn. So, play Plains, play Usher of the Fallen, pass the turn. There's not a lot of 1-mana removal, but if my opponent starts Mountain Frostbite, I'm going to be very sad. Alpine Meadow, well, half of that prediction was correct. We draw an Alpine Meadow, play a Plains, go to combat, attack for 2, boast, hit them for 2, they go to 18. Opponent plays a Forest into a Finn the Fangbearer. We untap, we draw Code Spell Cleric. So play a Mountain, I think we play Raven Wings, and then play Code Spell this turn. Code Spell Usher. Not that our opponent needs more opportunity or information to try and kill Usher, but I think that's where that 1/1 counter has to go. Opponent plays an island. 3 mana, they play a Mistwalker. We untap. We draw a Dwarven Reinforcement. Play Alpine Meadow. Equip Usher. Go to combat. Attack for 4 in the air. No blocks for the opponent. Okay, pass the turn. They untap. They very well might have to keep Mistwalker back along with the activation for it to try and kill Usher. So if we can run amok and boast next turn, after they do that, we are pretty well set on a victory here. Then we just need to draw our Go Wide payoff, the Horn Blast thing that I can't remember the name of right now. Okay, they put a 1/1 counter on Mistwalker. This is fine. They can turn it into a 3/4. They also put a Rune of Might, giving it 1/1 and trample. Okay, we can still run amok over the top of that, so we're gonna. We draw Arnie, so go to combat. Attack for 4 in the air. Opponent does not block. We've got him scared. Mega Dude. They take 4. Then we are going to foretell Dwarven Reinforcements because Run Amok only works on attacking creatures. Opponent plays a Jaspera Sentinel and a tap land. They attack us for 1. Right now, don't care about the poison, so we'll take it. They could have an untap trick, which we do need to be careful about. We untap and draw Tormentor's Helm. Play Tormentor's Helm. Continue on the Voltron. Go to combat. Attack with Usher of the Fallen. If they block, we run amok. If they don't block, we boast. Alright, opponent blocks. So Tormentor's Helm trigger. And then run amok. Okay, we deal 2 damage over the top. Opponent loses their big flyer. They untap. I mean, Arnie here is looking pretty nice, because Arnie is going to be a huge attacker. Opponent puts Death Touch on their Jaspera Sentinel. Jaspera? That one I actually don't know, if that's supposed to be pronounced with a Y or a J. Then they play a Giant's Amulet. Equipped creature is going to get 0/1 and hexproof as long as it's untapped. Okay. They go to combat and pass. We untap. We draw planes. So play a planes. We cannot bind in gold Jaspera Sentinel, unfortunately. So what we're going to do is move our equipment over to Codespell Cleric. Go to combat. Attack with our Vigilance Flyer. Opponent does block. They're going to take a damage from Tormentor's Helm. They lose the Sentinel. We lose the Cleric. And then we're going to go wide. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps and concedes. Nice. Moving on to game 2 of round 2. I think we want this Gold Maw champion again because tapping those like random 1/4s that your opponent has when you attack seems pretty decent. The question is, what do we drop for it? I think it's Dwarven Reinforcements. So we're gonna try it like this. This seems like an alright opener, so we're gonna keep. Being able to tap or being able to pump our whole team twice on an attack seems awesome. Opponent starts Shimmerdrift Veil on green. We draw planes. Play a planes, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play an island. They play an Avalanche Caller. This card is strong. We draw Gold Maw Champion. So play a mountain, play Story Seeker. Pass the turn. Opponent plays Finn the Fangbearer, passes. Looks like they may be stuck on mana. So play Batter Shield Warrior. Pass the turn. This way if they attack, while they probably could get a kill with Fang, whatever they block with they would lose. Unless they play a land and have access to Shimmerdrift Veil animation. Which they don't because they played a tap land. So we untap, draw Raven Wings, play a mountain, and I'm going to suit up the lifelinker and start trying to get ahead there. Go to combat. Attack for 3 in the air. Okay, my opponent has a Mists of Lityara, decreasing the power of our creature to 0. Opponent attacks us for 1, which if they do this, there's no reason for us to block. Take 1. We untap. Draw planes. Play a planes. Move our equipment over. Go to combat. Attack for 3 in the air. We might actually get to Valkyrie's Sword full price this game. Our opponent is missing land drops, but they have a lot of non-land cards in hand. They play Brine Barrow Intruder. They're going to shrink our Batter Shield Warrior. Okay. So play Gold Maw Champion, because having access to the tap is going to be good. I've got a feeling. Opponent untaps. Plays a tap land. They're going to animate Shimmerdrift Veil and go to combat. We are going to take the damage this time. We untap. We draw Beskir Shieldmate. So play a planes. Go to combat. Attack, attack. Boast. Tap Brine Barrow Intruder. Okay. Boast, pump our team, hit them for 7. Play the shield mate. Pass the turn. If we top deck a land, we can play a very big flyer. And if we don't, we can either try and make an opportunity attack based on whether or not our opponent decides to stay aggressive or not. Or we can just try and build the board with Batter Shield Warrior, because multiple Boast Anthems seems good. If it looks like we're going to take too much damage, I'm fine throwing Beskir Shieldmate under the bus. I think it's just going to be a good blocker here. Opponent attacks with Finn the Fangbearer. Do we care? Yeah, we'll chump. We still want to stay basically as wide as we can be here. Second main, opponent plays Binding of the Old Gods. Destroy a non-land permanent your opponent controls. It's either going to be a creature or Raven Wings. It's the creature attached to Raven Wings. Search your library for a forest, put it on the battlefield tapped, and then creatures you control gain Death Touch until end of turn. Okay, so if we can kill Finn the Fangbearer, we should. In this case, we're going to go full price on Valkyrie's Sword. Okay, pay 5. We have a 6/5 Flying Vigilance. The card seems so good at full price and limited. The fact that you can play it early as a decent equipment, or also it can be like an endgame threat, seems really good. Okay, opponent gets a Highland Forest, because this does not name basic forests specifically. So I think what my opponent is going to do is they are going to, next turn, animate all of their lands that can attack, and then try and get in with Finn the Fangbearer Death Touch combo. They're going to put Rune of Might on Finn the Fangbearer. We're going to block with Story Seeker, so we don't take any damage here. Oh, we do take damage. Okay, never mind. That was incorrect. I should not have done what I just did. Okay, we untap. Draw a mountain. So, play the Batter Shield Warrior. Go to combat. Attack for 6 in the air. Take them to 6, but I think we're dead here. Especially with my dumb block. I'm going to move the equipment over here. Play a mountain. And put this equipment here. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Animates a land. Probably animates another land. So we have to block everything that isn't Finn the Fangbearer. Actually, we should really try and block Finn the Fangbearer, but the problem is if we do, we take too many poison counters. Alright. Block. Chump. Oh. Problem is if I block like this, we lose to poison because I was an idiot and blocked earlier. So I have to like trade here and leave them with just Finn. So we have to draw removal for Finn. Yup. That was dumb. Alright, we untap. We don't draw removal, so we scoop it up. I don't think we have sideboard for this that we want to play. So we're just going to run it back. And I think I've got to restart the client here. Alright, we do want to play first. This hand is very top deck reliant, but we are going to keep it. Start Alpine Meadow Pass. Opponent starts Ice Tunnel. We draw Stalwart Valkyrie. Play Plains, pass the turn. If my opponent doesn't play a creature or they play a tap land, I am going to play the haste creature this next turn. If they play a creature, I'm going to play Gold Maw Champion. Okay, opponent plays a tap land. We draw a Rune of Sustenance, so play Breakneck Berserker. Go to combat. Opponent tried to pay costs there. I don't know what that was for. Ah, Brine Barrow Intruder, so they can block and not take any damage. Makes sense. They play a Forest. And they play a Mistwalker. No attack. Oh, no, they're going to get in for one. Okay. We untap and draw Run Amok. So, play a Plains. Rune of Sustenance. Draw a card. Go to combat. Get in for 3. Run Amok. Because that's kind of a high-value creature to kill. Trample over, gain a bunch of life, pass the turn. Opponent plays an Icehide Troll into an island. They get in for 1. This having Indestructible is pretty good. So we draw a Tormentor's Helm. That actually gets us around the troll for a turn. While still gaining life. Go to combat. Attack for 4. Opponent plays another Brine Barrow Intruder. That unfortunately means they can double block. Okay, we want to kill the Brine Barrow Intruder. Triggered ability does gain us 1 life due to lifelink. That's kind of funny. Then we play a Gold Maw Champion. Pass the turn. It might have been better to play the Valkyrie and equip it there, but I want to be able to tap the troll on attack. Opponent plays a Notvold Slumber Mound. Attack us for 2, that's fine. They're going to pump the troll. I think them trying to race is a losing proposition. We untap, we draw Plains. Play a Plains. Equip the Gold Maw Champion. Go to combat. Attack. Boast. Hit them for 3. Now we play the Stalwart Valkyrie. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Opponent plays a Shimmerdrift Veil on red. They attack us for 2. No blocks. Absolutely no blocks. And they pump the troll. We take 4 and go to 19. Untap. We draw Raven Wings. So play the Wings. Equip the champion. Keep the other red man in her hand. Go to combat. Attack for 7 in the air. Opponent goes down to 7. So they gotta have an answer next turn, or we're gonna get them. And it can't just be a blocker either, because we could tap the blocker. Okay, opponent plays a Rune of Mortality. If they have a fight spell, that would be pretty brutal. They draw a card. We did it! Woohoo! Alright, I will see you guys in round 3. Alrighty, round 3, here we go. I would like to play first. This is not the most amazing hand in the world. We have a lot of action, but we have no creatures. We have a lot of creatures in our deck. I'm going to keep this, even though it is really slow. Funeral Longboat on turn 2 is okay, and then if we don't draw lands, I guess we can foretell the Warhorn Blast, or put Rune of Sustenance down on the Longboat and try and draw something. Opponent starts Forest. We get a Battershield Warrior. Play the Longboat. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Forest. Plays Guardian Gladewalker as a 2/2. We untap and get a mountain. Play a mountain. Play the warrior. Crew the longboat. Sorry. Go to combat. Attack for 3. Opponent goes down to 17. They play a forest. Glittering Frost. Alright. They're going to attack us for 2. We untap. We get a Code Spell Cleric. So Rune of Sustenance on, I guess, the longboat, actually. Play a Plains, play Code Spell Cleric, counter on the warrior, crew the boat, go to combat, and attack for 6. Next turn, we're doing a ton of damage. Because we may have access to, like, Warhorn Blast, or we might have Run Amok. Opponent plays a Swamp. Black-green, green. They play Coma's Faithful. Okay. And then they play a Wither Crown. Well, we are going to keep the creature alive. We will not sacrifice that creature. We draw Story Seeker. So, Foretell Warhorn Blast. Crew up the longboat. Go to combat. Attack for 3. Opponent offers to trade, so we run amok. Hit them for 5, they gain 3, so in reality we only do 2 damage. Mill some cards. Pass the turn. Our opponent does have a Blizzard Brawl. It's alright, Port. No growling. Opponent pays a lot of mana for a Struggle for Skemfar, killing the Code Spell Cleric? That's interesting. Okay, we untap. We will not be sacrificing the Batter Shield Warrior. Draw planes. Play a planes. Play a Story Seeker. Play a Stalwart Valkyrie. Exiling Code Spell Cleric. Pass the turn. And we're gonna crew up and we're gonna swing all out. And we're gonna get a Warhorn Blast and an Anthem next turn. Pretty much regardless of what's happening. Opponent Skull raids us to draw 2 cards. Seems good. Opponent plays a land. Opponent plays a Grizzled Outrider. Not something we should have to worry about. Opponent passes. We untap. We will not be sacrificing our creature. We draw planes. So we are going to crew up with, I think, our Story Seeker. Let me think about this for a second. Let's see. If I crew with the Story Seeker, they are going to block. Alright, let's do this. Crew up with the Story Seeker. Go to combat. Swing with the team. See how our opponent blocks. Okay. So we boast, and then we Warhorn Blast. Nice. We're at 30, our opponent's at 3, and we have a 3/2 flyer and 3 power on the ground. They could have the -3/-3 spell, and we would be very sad, but they don't. So we win. Nice. I actually don't think we need to make any adjustments. Goldmaw Champion here could be really good again. It might be better than this. I'm not sure. I'm just going to run it back, and we'll see what happens. This looks like a fairly decent hand. We are going to keep... Okay. Opponent starts Swamp. Passes. We untap. We draw Alpine Meadow. Play a Mountain. Play Tormentor's Helm. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Plays a Swamp. Foretells. We untap. We draw Clarion Spirit. Play a Plains. Foretell. Pass the turn. Clarion Spirit is an excellent top deck there, because next turn we can play a tap land, play Clarion Spirit, and then Foretell, Scorn, Effigy for Effigy. I still say Effigy. Effigy. We draw Valkyrie Sword. Play Alpine Meadow. Play Clarion Spirit. Foretell. Get a Spirit. Now if we can draw like a Code Spell Cleric, that would be awesome. Okay, opponent plays a Swamp. They're going to Skull Raid us, so we have to discard 2 cards. Let's discard Valkyrie Sword, and I think Shieldmate. Goldmaw Champion, actually. They play another Guardian Gladewalker, making this one a 3/3. We untap. We draw Bound in Gold. Well, I mean, it's pretty value right now, so... Smelt that one down. Go to combat. Attack for 5. Opponent goes to 15. They untap. Blizzard Brawl. They kill Clarion Spirit. And they foretell a card. We untap. Draw Dwarven Reinforcements. Play Breakneck Berserker. Go to combat. Swing out. Hit them for 6. Opponent goes to 9. They untap. Next turn, we're probably foretelling Dwarven Reinforcements and equipping, like, Breakneck Berserker with Tormentor's Helm. Okay, opponent foretells another card. At least one of those is probably the 3/2 with Flash. I am going to Rune of Sustenance the Tormentor's Helm, because I want to be able to move my lifelink around. We draw a mountain, play a mountain, and we're going to equip to the Breakneck Berserker. Well, we're going to equip to the Scorn Effigy, actually. Go to combat. Attack for 7. Okay, they do have the Jarl, like 100%. Tormentor's Helm pinging and gaining you a life off the lifelink seems nice. Oh, they have a Mammoth Growth, okay. Well, we gain a bunch of life off that at least. Then we can equip... We'll put it on the Berserker for now. Pass the turn. Opponent only has 1 card in hand and 4 life right now. And, well, they have 2 cards because they drew a card and they still have a card for Told. What did my opponent just play? Struggle for Skemfar. Okay. We draw a snow-covered mountain, play the mountain, equip the spirit, cast Dwarven Reinforcements, and hit them for 2 in the air. We go to 30, they go to 2, we have 3 lethal attackers. Opponent plays a Blood Sky Berserker, struggle for Skemfar. Okay. We untap, we draw Stalwart Valkyrie, equip to a dwarf, go to combat, attack for 3. Okay, opponent blocks, they get pinged for 1, we gain 1, then we gain 3. And we'll play out the Shieldmate and cast the Stalwart Valkyrie, exiling Score and Effigy out of the grave. Pass the turn. Then we'll equip the Dwarf Berserker with the Tormentor's Helm and swing out. We did it! 3-0! 6 Kaldheim packs! We are way in the money today. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know this was kind of just a derpy Boros aggro, but it worked out really well. We got a little bit lucky. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined, and remember you can follow me on Twitch. Same username over there as you find me on here. I stream Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, though the last few have been earlier. And don't worry, when I'm back to my other setup, we will be doing more modern content, but that time is not now, for I'm probably traveling if you're seeing this video. So if I am slow to respond on Discord or in the YouTube comments below, don't be offended. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. You're all wonderful human beings. Thanks for watching. Bye!